The question that Dave and I get asked all the time is, how do I get into the mobile home park business? Well, you don't just get into the business. It's not like trying to get into a country club or into a restaurant. It's actually a multi-step process that takes more than a little effort on your part. Let me put it in a parallel story to taking my daughter to Six Flags back when she was about 8 years old. I go to Six Flags and I go to the Midway because she wants to win a giant stuffed animal. And I'm not particularly great at throwing a basketball, throwing a baseball, hitting milk bottles, any of those kind of games. So the first thing I have to do is figure out which game has the best chance of success. That's mission number one. I figure out that the game that seems to have the best chance, based on how many people I see win it and how skilled you have to be to operate it, is a game where they give you a pistol that's loaded with a baseball. So this thing shoots a baseball, and you're shooting this baseball at 3 bottles stacked on a podium. Now, why I like this game is, number one, I don't have to have any great skill other than pulling the trigger. Number two, the baseball's pretty big, and those bottles are pretty small. And so I figured that's the one I'm going to do. So that's process one, is figure out what's a winner. Number two is to learn how to do it. I watched lots of different people play the game, and I saw that if you really wanted to win it, you had to try and hit the bottles right in the middle, so it would knock the 2 lower ones over and the one on the top off. So step 2 is learn how the game works. Step number 3 is to do it over and over again as much as you humanly can in order to win. Now, yes, I won the big stuffed animal. In fact, I didn't win it just one time. She had a friend with her, and the friend also wanted to win the big stuffed animal. And I'm talking the one that's about 5 feet tall. So I played it a second time, but I warned her up front. I said, look, I've only got about $10 left, and it's only going to get me 6 shots. The odds of me winning this thing again within 6 shots, because bear in mind, the first time out I probably spent $40 in having enough shots to win. So I didn't know if I would win it the second time. Didn't want the little girl to get upset. And thankfully, on my next to last shot, I did it again and got the second big stuffed animal. Now you're saying, what the heck does this have to do with mobile home parks? Well, it's the same exact formula. You got to figure out what works, what is your best chance for success. Now that, I'm very confident, is mobile home parks. If you're looking at different types of real estate to try and make money with, sure, you can try and flip single family homes. Half the world is doing it. I don't know exactly how many succeed. All the people I know who do it, they get a home, they buy it, they fix it up, and they can't find anyone to buy it. And they're just sitting all over the place for sale. You could look at apartments, but apartments require tons of capital. They sell at very, very low cap rates. It's very hard to get financing on them right now. So, of all the different options out there, Dave and I think the winningest plan right now are mobile home parks. We're very, very confident of that. Here are some of the key reasons why. First, the U.S. economy is going down the tubes. We're creating more and more people every day who earn minimum wage up to about $10 or $15 an hour. Those folks have a total household budget for housing of about $500 a month, and the only thing that can deliver a housing unit for $500 per month is a mobile home park. So with supply and demand, there's no question mobile home parks are in the exact correct position for an ever weaker America. Number two, when you own a mobile home park, one thing you don't have to worry about day to day is your revenue, because those homes are anything but mobile. It costs about $3,000 to $5,000 to move a, quote, mobile home from one spot to the other. So consequently, they never move. So your tenants are basically locked in position right where they are. Number three, they're not building any more mobile home parks. In almost all of the United States last year, there were maybe fewer than 10 parks built. Most cities will not allow new parks to be built. So from a supply and demand ratio on the availability of parks, that number is actually just going down. There are more parks closed each year, many more parks closed each year than there are built. So over time, mobile home parks are becoming a scarcer and scarcer commodity. Number 4, mobile home parks are one of the few things left out there where all the early moms and pops still own most of the parks. And that means you can get attractive prices, you can get seller carry, all the things you can't get from professional investors who all want to get the top dollar and they want you to go out and get a bank loan to make it happen. So there's no question mobile home parks are the right thing to be in if you want to win. So that brings you to number 2, learning how to do it. Now, how did I learn how to do it? I bought a park, I went out and sat in a single wide in the park from 9 to 5 every day for about a year. That is not something most people want to do to learn the industry. Dave's story is similar. He was out there in the trenches, in the parks, day one, learning the business. Now, would I have chosen to do that today? No. I would much rather let somebody else tell me how it works and not have to go do that. That wasn't fun. Those were not great times. But back when I got in the business, there was nothing that shows you how in the world to buy or run a mobile home park. So it was all based on personal experimentation. There was no substitute for going out and doing it yourself. Now, if you don't want to go out there and do it yourself, and yet you want to know how to do it, then I would invite each and every one of you who watch this to come to our mobile home park boot camp.